Hey there, folks. I'm Joe Crawford of artlong.com. Pretty much every day, I load up CSSBattle.dev, do the daily target, and record it. And then people sometimes watch it. Here we go. Ooh, that's fun. So we got what I think are figures with a border with 50%, 50%, 50%, and zero uh, border radiuses. And then we have this one, which is flipped. And we can flip it with a scale, or we can flip it by rotating it, or we can flip it by essentially putting it, uh, flip it by changing the order of the border radius values. Okay, so let's do this with a paragraph. We're gonna do it with two, two, two paragraph elements. So let's make the first one. We'll go left to right. That's how English is laid out. So that's what we'll do. This background is not quite white, so we do need a background. And then we need border, what is it, 40 pixels or something? Solid. There's our, that's probably too wide. And then we need green to be the color. Okay, and then I guess we have that middle bit as well of color. So we need 4 values for margin. It's like 2 is the left margin, and then 25 is that margin. And I have too much border here, so let's make that 30. Oh, we want it to align perfectly. 30 does it. So the height needs to be correct. Let's try 90. Let's try 80. 80 is correct. This is bottom margin. This 0 is bottom margin, so we just need more margin here. 1, 1, 0, 1, 6, 1, 7, 200, 205, no, 225, 35, 45, 40, 42. Okay, so there's our first figure. So we need, or we're going to need 2 of them. So let's go ahead and put the second one here. There it is. Okay. So we need to set these border radius. Border radius. And I think we can do 50%. 50%, and we need multiple values. 50%, 50%, 0. And the reason that 3 values works is because we have the top. I forget how this works. That's how margin works. Border radius is a little funny because the corners, I think it's the corner top left, essentially, and then the 2 contravening. So upper right and bottom left, and then 0 is the bottom corner opposite the start point. So a little confusing that. That's me making that up a little bit. I'd have to consult the CSS spec to see, okay, what do those numbers actually represent? But that's my surmise. So if we do a border radius, so let's do the scale. So scale of -1 does it, and it does it very nicely. Versus, what would it be? Rotate 1 turn. Oh, 0.5 turn. So 0.5 turn. That's not as good. How about, what is it, 90 degrees? The turn? No, it's 180 degrees. So 180 degrees does it. But scale -1, I think, is the nicest. And again, scale is composed of 2 values. So if I do scale 1, 1, it's just the same thing again. And let's make this negative. -10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 55. Okay, and then so if I do that scale, So it's two values. If I do -1, 1, I get that. If I do 1, 1, it's just the same again. But -1, -1. So it's scaled on the x-axis and then on the y-axis. And that, if you use just -1, it's both those values. So then I can add a translate. Because I'm setting the width of that with margins, I need to do a translate. So 100 pixels. And I think I do need the px value there. Is it 200? Is it 230, 40? 240. That lines up very nicely. So in terms of what I've got on the screen right now, I need a technique to get that green bar. So one thing I might be able, so what, so, all right, I'm just going to be clever here. Box, shadow, inset, inset, 0, 100 pixels. So that is kind of interesting. And let's do we'll go ahead and we're going to do this goofy thing because we've got the margins set the way that and we can't do it. So what I was thinking, if I set color to be this value, then I can do 1, 2, 3, 4 and get a line lined up. And then if I do on top of that, inset 0, 100 pixels, then I can get a line, actually 110. But that's not quite right. Now I could add to this by doing inset 100 pixels, 0, and then this orange color on top of that. And then inset minus 100 pixels. These are not efficient techniques, but maybe we're going to do that. But that's a lot of code, right? So we have shadow, shadow, shadow to make that shape because each of the inset shadows is covering the next one. And so you can make that shape using this technique. I don't think it's particularly good technique. It does get me a score, but it's not great. The only thing it gets us is that we could then, if we use set color here like that, then we can remove this one here because all the colors will be all set color, which will be defines border, and the text color and box shadows all will obey that. But we don't want that. What we want is my friend, the conic gradient. So we want conic gradient, and it's at 50%, 30 pixels. So 50% means it's half as wide as the thing. And then we want this orange, 75%. And then we want the green, 0. There it is. And then we just move it around 50. And we just do crazy numbers, 80Q. And then down 100Q, 10, 20, 30, 41, 42, 43. And those are short numbers, kind of. Oh, submission failed. We're going to try it again. Try it again. Try. Backend is not cooperating, making my video go longer, and that's a better score than we got with our crazy box shadows. Let's minify and unit replace. Our translate changed, but nothing else changed because we're not using too many colors here. We can trim the space before the color, and we could probably change body to an ampersand. And we can remove a trailing brace. None of these are super exciting changes, but they do count for code golf. Again, the way I do these is not to get the absolute best scores. I just like to do them and talk a little bit about CSS as I do it. And you can do it as efficiently or as inefficiently as you want. If you are able to reproduce these in a time that's satisfying to you, you did it right. And if you get to 100%, A plus. If you get a diff that looks black, that's also good. 99.9% happens sometimes. That's a thing. But most of these that are simple figures that are not turned at a weird angle, right? So a non 90-degree angle, those are trickier. And then things with lines that are, and then circular things that are not quite precise circles are the ones that are get you real trickiness. All right, that's it. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Hope you're doing well out there. Take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Go make a webpage, and I'll see you around. Bye.